over the years, last few years, I've taken a few photographs, and some of them are kind of fun, I would say. And I don't really have a place to share them. I don't do a lot of social media, although I just got an Instagram for Summa Cum Loudmouth, which I really opened so that we can communicate. I will link it or put it in the screen. The main objective there was so that you can direct message me. I'm looking for Malby because we were having a conversation in comments that I wanted to continue, and things like that happen, and I want us to be able to talk to each other. And email is not ideal because for reasons that aren't worth getting into right now. Anyway, I have a few photographs that I want to share with you over time. And I'm going to start with one that is one of my favorites. I took this photograph walking home from my bestie's apartment. We live a few blocks away from each other. And I always take their kind of like, they're breezeways basically. I call them shortcuts, but they're not. It's where you can walk through the middle of the block and you don't have to encounter as many people. So that's for me. Take them when I can. And on my bestie's block, there is a big modern building. And the breezeway next to it, you look right into the lobby. One night, walking home, as I said, and I saw this, and I took a picture of it. Now, the problem with this is I am now plagued with questions that I do not have answers to. I seriously considered befriending some of the doormen, or trying to, in that building, just to get some information, but to my credit, I think, I really wasn't willing to spend the time and energy on that. So now I'm just tortured daily, wondering what happened there. And now I am showing it to you so that you can also be tortured by it. You're welcome. My questions are as follows. When did he get the newspaper? Was it in the hallway on his way to the elevator down? Or did he have to ride in the elevator butt naked? And of course, what happened there? Because this man did not leave his apartment even far enough to accidentally have the door slam behind him, completely nude. My guess is something happened to him that he deserved. At least I would like to think that, of course. So that's my snapshot for you. The next is my guilty pleasure, one of my guilty pleasures. And one of my guilty pleasures is the perusal of Amazon reviews. I will sometimes look at an item just for the reviews, no interest in the actual item. Most of them I have come, of course, originally I came across them because I was looking at whatever it was. These are the ones, my 3 top disliked, that I do not like this kind of review, and then the one kind that I absolutely love. Number 1, men writing reviews for their wives. Why would you do this? Does your wife not have opposable thumbs? And I hadn't seen one of these in a while, and I just yesterday came across one looking for a concealer for us. And sure enough, there it was, a photograph of her that I won't show. Smiling, she looks like she is part of the modern world. Written by her husband. My wife loves this concealer. She finds that it doesn't oxidize. He didn't use the word oxidize. And there may have been a language barrier there, I'm not sure. But like I said, different cultures are different with the dynamics between men and women. But if you're writing a review on Amazon for a concealer, you should get with the program by now. He adds one detail also that you should maybe put a little bit of powder on it so that it doesn't rub off on your phone or someone's shirt. Powder's worse, by the way, but okay, whatever. Then he says that his wife really enjoys this, and we will be buying it. We will be purchasing it again. Like I said, she's got to have opposable thumbs because she put on her concealer. Unless he did that for her too, which I would imagine he would mention that. I cannot stand this. This is so offensive to me. It's usually for clothing, which is worse, kind of, especially because a lot of times they say things that I also don't like. I mean, I'm not easily offended, but this whole thing is just yuck. So, if nothing, also, why say how about just write it in the voice of your wife, just if for no other reason than my peace of mind. Just, I can't live like this anymore. Don't do this. Not that any of you are doing this, but I don't know if you've seen these, if they've struck you in the same way. I cannot stand it. The second kind of review makes me a lot more angry than it should, and I think I know what's going on here, but it's the review that reads as follows. Haven't tried it yet, hope it's good. That, first of all, that's not a review. That's zero information being given. Okay, zero. I think I know why this happens, but it can only be an excuse for so long and for certain demographics. When Amazon, I don't know if they still do this, but when Amazon would send you an email telling you your thing has shipped, in the same email, usually, if not right after in another email, they will ask you for a review. And I think the impulse there is to click that because it's worded in such a way that they are like, please review this, Click that and write, I haven't gotten this yet, hope it's good. I get it. I'm angry at Amazon and I'm angry at the people for writing this. I mean, at some point logic should kick in. No? Maybe Amazon has stopped sending that at that time. I haven't seen one of those in a while either. But come on. And I don't even want to admit this, but I get so angry at this particular kind of review because it's just so incredibly stupid. Like, it just makes no sense to me. It's just, how do you do this? At one point do you realize this is not a good idea? This isn't helping. This is not a review. I have fantasies of finding these people and doing things to them. And listen, I'm not proud of that. I take full accountability. I'm too invested. I'm wrong. I'm in the wrong there. The next kind of review that I really do not like is reviews by people who I can only assume never had a real problem. Okay. Let's say you buy a treadmill for $150, and a year later you write a review with 1 star saying, I would leave 0 stars if I could. This broke after a year of daily use. If I buy a treadmill for $150, I'm giving it a good review if it works once. What kind of charmed life have these people lived that they can expect a $150 treadmill to work forever? And the last disliked, but not least, is a review for something like a dress that cost $13 that says, looks cheap. Get out of here. It looks cheap. Of course it looks cheap. It was $13. Tell me if it doesn't look cheap. That's information that I find interesting and valuable and surprising, quite frankly. If you buy a dress for $13 and you don't expect it to look cheap, shame on you. Now for the reviews that I love. The reviews that I love are the ones that have photographs that feature people's pets. I will go looking for these in products that I have no intention to or interest in buying. They're best usually in household decor, rugs, couches, sheets, pillows, things like that, because that's where the pets really get to show who's boss around there. And they will also sometimes be, if somebody's taking a picture in a full-length mirror, the pets, they always want to insert themselves. They're always photobombing, and that's also very cute. But there's something about, and also they're often mentioned in the review, like, I bought this for myself. It's a sectional couch, but Schnooky loves it so much it's basically his now, LOL. And I just love that. The pets are always really well taken care of, and that's a household that is being run by Snooki, and I'm here for it. I love that. The one I'm about to show you is a photograph that I've had for years now. This is a review for sheets that I actually bought. This is one of the first ones I ever found like this, but it's also a specifically cute one in my opinion because I don't know. I assume this is a cat. It could be a little dog. Who knows? We're just seeing the little legs there. Standing right in this person's face on the bed, on the sheets. The pet was not mentioned at all in this review. This review was strictly for the sheets. No mention of the fact that the animal is there because, of course, the animal is there. And I appreciate this person so much for taking this picture and posting it as the review picture, not even mentioning the furry little legs that are there. I just love this. This puts me in a very good mood. Now I'm going to show you a tutorial for eye makeup for hooded eyes because I've already gotten a few requests for makeup for hooded eyes. My thought is always there are so many good makeup artists out there doing these reviews. What do you need me for? But I'm flattered that you want my advice, and you know I love to give my advice, solicited or not. So I'm going to do it, and what I've decided to do is keep it very simple. The makeup that I'm wearing right now is, make sure I didn't mute myself again, is the makeup that you're about to see me put on. I decided to keep it simple and keeping in mind the worst case scenario, meaning the aging hooded eye. You know, the eye that people really don't like. You know, you're very unhappy, and I get it. We all have our crosses to bear, believe me. Beth left a comment in my last video saying that, quote, some of us are living with the heartbreak of hooded eyes. And for you, I have two words. Brigitte Bardot. Because she too lived with the heartbreak of hooded eyes for her entire life and remained beautiful throughout. I think of makeup as painting a better looking face on your face. Okay? Whatever face you have. I have to deal with my face. You have to deal with your face. We have to make the best of the situation. And the keywords here are your face. We can't turn 50 cents into $1, you know? We have to deal with what we have within reason. Mother Nature can only be pushed so far to her limits, as I have discovered a few times myself. That said, my belief is this. When you don't like something, you deal with it as easily as possible and you move on. The more you focus on it, the more everyone focuses on it. There are, as I said, a lot of videos on how to do makeup for hooded eyes. And I've seen a lot of them, and I've spent the last few mornings watching them again and watching new ones, and they are all very good. My personal issue with them is that they are generally tend to be very long and detailed and a little tedious. And if I'm saying that, I can imagine that the average person would agree because I'm all about it. You know, I love makeup. I love putting makeup on every day. I love it. I always love it. That's why I wear it for the most part. So if I feel that these are a little bit long and tedious, I would imagine that most people would agree with me. So that's another reason why I decided to keep it simple. Are there little tweaks and things that could be mentioned and added and talked about? Yeah, of course. And we will get to them, I'm sure, along the way, because a lot of them are general makeup things that are just kind of advanced moves that aren't necessary to get into right now. I'm assuming that we're just living normal lives here and we don't want to spend an hour putting on simple eye makeup. I did add a few steps that would be considered extra, I believe. I added them because as I said, the rest is very simple, and because I think they are important. Okay? You don't have to do them, obviously. And I always say to myself, you don't have to know everything, you just know yourself. And if you're not going to do something, at least you know it. Act accordingly. I get it. But I'm just saying brows and lashes. That's all I'm going to say right now. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know any questions you have or comments or whatever. And that's it. I will see you very soon. Bye. This is a small electric razor that I am shaping my brows with. You'll be able to hear it in a second. And I use this because brevity and ease is important, and also because if you shave your eyebrows, they will grow back. Sometimes I completely shave the tail off so I can reshape my eyebrow to be kind of more straight or higher. Not the base of my brow, just the tail. And it just grew back recently, or else I would be doing that to show you. I can do that another time if you're interested. Now I'm putting the concealer over my eye and buffing it out. And we're going to keep, as I said, keep things very simple. We're just going to go with a very light neutral shade and a light fluffy, big fluffy brush all over the lid. I highly recommend shaping eyebrows so that your eye looks more open. Now here is the light color with the fluffy brush, just all over the lids, as I said. I've kept this very minimal. There are other things you can do. You can add darker shades, darker than the ones I'm about to add, but as I said, I'm keeping it simple. Now I'm using this light neutral brown-ish color, warm brown, and I'm just going from the outer corner of the eye upward into the temples. And that's it. You can also, if you want to, use a slightly darker. Also with the same brush, you can use a smaller brush if you like, but this one leaves things very muted, which I like, and just add a little bit more. This way we're not trying to create something that doesn't exist or shouldn't be created. We're just highlighting the eyes, making them brighter, a little warmer, and now the brows, which I of course immediately screw up. I'm shaping these upward and out. And I do a few things to, I use a few different products on my brows in this kind of to show the options. This is a bristled pen, which I don't recommend for everyone. This one is also very dark, probably too dark for me. But I used it, I started with it so you can see what I'm doing more clearly. Now, if you have light brows or you're self-conscious with dark brows or you don't look good in dark brows, very possible, there are a lot of really great taupe pencils. I would probably, and powders. Powders are even more subtle. Whatever you're most comfortable with. Wet n Wild makes a great taupe pencil. I have one of them linked on Amazon, and the other one is just their basic old school brown taupe pencil. But that one, I know from experience, when you order it, you get the dark brown. So I didn't want to link that one. But you may likely find it in your local drugstore, wherever they carry Wet n Wild. Now I'm using a gel to fill this in with the brush. Now I'm taking a Q-tip and putting it in the corner of my eyes. Now this is a step that actually should be done at the end, but I do it at the end also, so there. You can also do it both times if you want, but there's really no need. And right over this, I put a shimmery pearl just in the corners to brighten the eyes a little bit. It's very hard to see in this video, which is a shame. And it is subtle, but it makes a difference. It's very pretty. Now this is a lash curler that really gets in there and works on small areas. This is an example of something that I could see not everyone wanting to do. I linked it. It's $18, I believe, which is cheaper than I got it for. I think I was like $25, but this, in my opinion, is a very good tool to have. And if you have small eyes or hooded lids, or you're just a human being, a traditional curler may be kind of awkward to use and difficult. Here are the pre-glued lashes, which I love. Now I'm placing these, you can use one or two on each lid, up to you. I'm not placing this in the outer corner because the outer corner is where we have problems. So I'm placing it a little bit further into the eye, closer to the middle of the eye than the outer corner, so that you can see the lash, and it's not long, it's not a long lash, it's not thick. The band is clear, so you don't have a lot of heaviness. You just put it under the lash line and on the actual lash, so it keeps the eye nice and open. Now a second one, optional, although I like it. And I like it on a hooded lid because it shows. I'm going in with a little brow powder now. The issue also with these products, brow products, is make sure that they are not too red, because that does happen sometimes. Okay, and there are the lashes. Now I'm just putting mascara, a tubing mascara, on the inside of the lashes, because the adhesive lashes really take care of the rest. You don't need mascara over them. Now I'm doing concealer. You'll see I am painting upward, creating light and structure on either side of the eye into the temple. Very important. This is also, you can do whatever you want. You can be as messy as, first of all, the colors are very light, so you can only really be so messy, and there's no liner. But you don't have to worry, because when you go in with this, it takes care of everything that may have happened. No one needs to know. And then I buff out the edges of the concealer with my trusty buffing brush. I will link all of these. Into the nose. This is something that I feature a little bit later because I really didn't get into it much in my last video, and it's helpful to know. I personally don't wear foundation, very rarely. So whatever I have to do, I do with a concealer. I don't really leave much room left for foundation. Now I'm taking a sharp, flat brush, flat, dense brush, and just kind of shaping it. Now I'm using the Beauty Blender to blend, and here is my Wet n Wild bronzer. And I'm taking that and I'm continuing from the eye into the temple with the bronzer. Obviously, this might not be for everyone, but I'm begging you to try it. Now I'm buffing it out with a flat, dense brush. And this kind of further lifts the eye, no matter what. More blending. Now I'm starting to go down the side of my nose with the concealer. Now with the brush, I had just cleaned this brush. Usually there's a little concealer left on it, but I had to actually put more concealer on my nose this time. Powder on the flat dense brush. That stops any potential smudging or running or anything. Fluffy powder brush just to kind of set things. More mascara, of course. I actually trimmed some of this video. I was putting the mascara on my lower lashes for so long, even I was shocked. But especially when there's no liner on the lower lid, it really shows. And there are, of course, you can do a light, you can do whatever you want. You can do your lower lids if you like. I put a little bit on those lashes, those glued on lashes. A little more on the lower lids. Here is a bronzer by Physicians Formula. It's probably a little too dark for me, but here we are. And I'm going into the eye actually with it to really kind of accentuate that look. And now I went back and I got it's a concealer pencil, which these two steps are extra, and I'm about to use an expensive product that is actually worth it. This is the Dior Highlighting Quad. And as you can see, I've had this for a very long time, but I still have it, and there's still product on it. This stuff is just beautiful. It is so beautiful, particularly for this. And I know it's a little crazy to purchase a $65 highlighting quad if you're just going to use it in the tear ducts, but you know what? When something's good, it's good. And I put that on with a Q-tip brush, what they call a Q-tip brush, but you can use a Q-tip. The Dior highlighter I did not link on Amazon because it does not come from, Christian Dior does not have a store, to my knowledge certainly, on Amazon, and I do not trust beauty products or hair products or skin products, things like that, from Amazon unless they are from the store, and even then it can be iffy, but usually it's fine. And that is it. I hope you enjoyed that. See you soon.